What else did we talk about?
السلام عليكم.
Alaikum salam. Hello.
وعليكم السلام.
وعليكم السلام. How are you today?
Fine, thanks. How about you?
Fine, alhamdulillah.
Okay, so let's have a mini revision, a quick revision of the past perfect that we talked about in our last lesson. Just a second, let me send the link to, what's his name? Yeah. Okay. All right, so in our last lesson, we talked about the past perfect. Let me just quickly review it for you. We agreed that the past perfect, we use it for the action that happened first, and the past simple for the action that happened next, or the action that happened second. This was the general idea we discussed. Usually we use the past perfect to show which action, just like these two examples when we had the discussion. Where is it? Let me put it in a box for you. Can you see these two? We agreed that if you don't use the present, if you don't use the past perfect, and you only use the past simple, this means you have to respect the word order. What comes first happened first. So like number one, because we don't have past perfect, we only have past simple, this means the verb that comes first happened first. So turned on the TV happened first, program started happened second. Maybe the time is very close, that's not a big problem, but TV first, program second. But in number two, it's the opposite, because program started, this has the past perfect, the program had started. So this is number one, this is the first event or the first action, and turned on the TV, this is the second action. So this is the general idea. After that, we did the example here in number 7, and we had some discussions. It's a very nice example. So we finished this. We also finished the story about Martin Strel.
We don't do the listening in the 8A, number 8.
Correct. We didn't do the listening, yeah. So the listening, we can start here today. Now the listening,
okay.
The idea of this exercise, it's actually easy, but I think it's a bit important. So here, they want you to pay attention to the had sound, because it's easy to miss. So here, what we want to do is, it says, listen to these sentences. Notice the difference between the past simple and the past perfect. So let me go to the recording. Let me go to the CD. And let me just play the track for you. And show you the difference. So CD1, track 33.
Two. He left home. He'd left home. 3. My parents bought it. My parents had bought it. 4. Nick worked there. Nick had worked there.
Okay, now what do you notice? Is the had sound, is it stressed? Is it clear? Or do you think it's not stressed?
Not stressed.
Very good, that's it. So it's not stressed. So it's actually easy to miss, right? Because there's no stress.
Yeah.
because it's an auxiliary and it's a positive auxiliary. And you remember, if you remember the rule, positive auxiliaries are never stressed. They never stress positive auxiliaries. So it's very easy to miss it. So now we want to practice a little bit. In track 34, we're gonna hear 6 pairs of sentences. Okay, so for each pair, you are gonna hear past simple and past perfect. The question is, which one do you hear first? This is what they want you to decide. If you hear the past simple first, just say past simple. If you hear the past perfect first, just say past perfect. Do you get the question? So I'm going to pause after each pair. So number 1, you will hear 2 examples. Number 2, 2 examples. Number 3, 2 examples. But in part B, it's not in order. مش زي A. في A هنا لو تلاحظوا في الأول دي ما يدير لك past simple بعدين perfect, right? But in part B, it's not in order. Is it clear? Do you get the idea?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so let's do it. And I'm gonna pause after each one to give you a chance, and just tell me, what did you hear? Simple or perfect? This is the question. So let's listen.
34. 1.
I had a bad day. I'd had a bad day.
What did you hear?
I
The
hear
second,
past
first
simple
and
and first.
past simple.
That's it.
Past perfect and past simple. Yes.
Yeah, but which
No.
one? Which one did you hear first? هذا اللي يهمنا احنا نقول الأول اللي سمعتها. What is it?
الأولى past perfect.
No. The first
Past
one is
simple,
past
yeah.
simple.
Correct. So now you need to get some chocolate to your classmates.
Okay.
So yeah, simple. Don't worry, I'm going to repeat all of it again, but let's check number 2 now, okay?
2.
John had arrived early. John arrived early.
First one
Past
is
perfect.
perfect.
Past perfect, the first one.
Correct. That's right. First one was perfect, yes. Okay, let's check number 3.
3.
She made a mistake. She'd made a mistake.
First one is past simple.
Simple. Past simple.
Right,
No.
that's correct.
4.
Tom had thought it was wrong. Tom thought it was wrong.
The first one is past perfect.
Correct. Is that what you heard, Malak and Sana?
No, I don't hear very well.
I don't hear. Yes, me too.
Okay. Let me put mute because I think my cat's being noisy. Okay.
Five.
The couple had asked for a bigger room. The couple asked for a bigger room.
Past perfect, the first
Past
one.
perfect.
Right, that's correct. Last one.
6.
We told him the news. We told him the news.
Past simple.
Simple.
Correct. Simple is the first one. Now let's listen to them one more time from the beginning. Check your answers, okay? Let's listen.
Track 34. 1.
I had a bad day. I'd had a bad day.
2.
John had arrived early. John arrived early.
3.
She made a mistake. She'd made a mistake.
4.
Tom had thought it was wrong. Tom thought it was wrong.
5.
The couple had asked for a bigger room. The couple asked for a bigger room.
6.
We told him the news. We told him the news.
Okay, do you get the idea? So this means if you're listening to someone use the past perfect, you're going to have to listen very carefully because it's not very clear, because it's unstressed. I'd finished, he'd left, we thought about it. So it's a very light D sound, and very often it's actually contracted. They usually contract it. So they don't say I had finished. They just say I'd finished, he'd left, he'd gone, right? So it's usually contracted. If you use the subject he, she, it, they, we, في العادة حتلقاها had, it's contracted with the subject. Unless you have a name, for example, Nick had, or Michael had, maybe you'll hear you'll hear all of it. But even when it's written in the complete form, in the full form, when they pronounce it, they use it's unstressed. So it'll sound like Mike had gone to the airport. Mike had gone. مش حتسمعوا Mike had gone. The H is not there. Mike had gone to the airport. Nick had left before we arrived. Nick had left. It's just a schwa sound and a D. Nick had left instead of Nick had left because it's unstressed. فهذه الفكرة الexercise. This is what they want to focus on. They want you to pay attention to the pronunciation. All right, so I think we can move on from the past perfect for a while and talk a little bit about vocabulary. So there's no grammar today, but there's a lot of vocab. So first of all, before we start, let's look at this title. I want you to look at the title or the heading of the lesson, and I want you to look at the heading or the title of the article and tell me what do you feel? What do you get from this heading, unusual day out? And then we have this heading, the world's weirdest museums. What do you think, Sana?
This meaning unusual days out, maybe someone go to another country or something and see something it's strange and it's not like maybe strange. You cannot see in his country or her country.
Yes, that's a good explanation.
Mm.
It's a bit like this, yeah. In this lesson, we will see some strange places. But what do you expect to see here? Hajar, what do you think when we say the world's weirdest museums? What do you expect to find in the world's weirdest museums? What do you think?
It's not like a normal museum, so we know. It's not the museums. We know it's all about the traditional or for some days in the past.
But what can we find in a traditional museum or in a regular, normal museum? What do you think we can find?
Maybe we find some clothes that we used to wear, and jewelries, dishes, yeah.
Okay.
Statues.
Something that, what?
Statues?
Statues, yeah.
A statue? Do you know what a statue is, Hajar? Like the Statue of Liberty. Do you know the Statue of Liberty in New York?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a very famous statue.
Yeah. Yep.
So what is it in Arabic? What do we say? What do we call a statue in Arabic?
Maybe bad statue.
Statue. تمثال.
Yes. Yeah. So you can find statues, you can find old clothes, you can find old jewelry, historical things, right? Anything historical.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a traditional museum. But in a weird museum or a strange museum, do you think we'll find the same thing?
No.
No.
Find something unusual.
That's correct.
Maybe bad things or fried something fried you from things.
I mean, scary things. Maybe you can find scary things.
Yeah.
Actually, there are some museums or some places where you can see very, very scary things, like, you know, body parts, fingers, I don't know, things, strange things like this.
Sometimes it's a happy places. There's chocolate museums, I think.
Yes,
So,
there is a chocolate.
So it's a weird, but it's a happy feeling. Happy.
Yeah, I actually at school in the UK, because as a child I studied a bit in Birmingham in the UK. So the main or the first Cadbury factory is in Birmingham in the UK. And when we were in school, they took us to this factory, which has like not a museum, but it has a center for educational center for children. They tell you the history of chocolate and how it was made and how it was discovered. And we had a lot of free chocolate, of course. It was a very happy day, I remember. I ate so much chocolate that day. So yeah, you're right. There are chocolate museums. I think there are very weird places to visit around the world. In today's lesson, we're going to learn about some of them. So I think it's interesting. And we'll also, I'm not sure if all the words are new, but we will see some very interesting words, and we will get a chance to try to guess these words from context, from the text. So even if we don't know what they mean, we can kind of guess, because this skill is very, very important later. Can you see this skill in the box? Guessing meaning from context. Can you see this? This is a very, very important skill for your English later in maybe upper intermediate advanced. If you want to do TOEFL preparation, IELTS preparation, you have to have a very good guessing skill, because in your real exam, you will always 100% find a word that is new. So what do you do in your exam? Can you check the dictionary? No. Do you have a lot of time? No. So what can you do? You have to guess. Do you get the idea? And how can we guess correctly? We can guess correctly by checking the context. اللي هو السياق. Context معناه سياق. Do you get the idea? So this means imagine if we have 10 words, okay? So let's say you know word number 1 and you know word number 2. You don't know word number 3. You don't know it. This is the new word number 3. You know 4, you know 5, you know 6, you know 7, you know 8, you know, for example, right? This means you can guess what number 3 means from the other words you know. Do you get the idea? I don't know if you get the idea or not. Sana?
Yeah. I get your...
Yeah, this is very important. And we want to practice this skill a bit today. So you'll get a chance to practice it. And it's not really hard. And the good thing is, from what I've seen, 90% of the time, your guess is correct. If you know the other words in the context, and you're trying to guess the new word from the context, 90% of the time, your guess is correct. It will be, if not correct, very close. And this is good enough in an exam. So this is what we want to focus on. Now, let's start with our first lesson, with our first exercise. It says here, number 1, make a list of the 5 best museums art galleries or famous buildings for tourists to visit in your country. So in Libya, what are the 5 best places? Any place, museum, art gallery, historical site, ruins, natural place. Think of all of them. Let's make a list of 5 places. What can you think of that are interesting for a Leptis Magna is interesting for a tourist? I agree. What else?
Sabrata.
Okay.
Saraya Museum.
The Saraya Museum. Alaikum salam. Hi, Ihab. How are you today?
Salam.
Fine, thanks. What about you?
We're fine, thanks. Okay, can you help us make a list, Ihab? We're thinking of the 5 most interesting places in Libya. Interesting for tourists. What can you think of? Natural or historical, modern, anything. What can you think?
In Libya?
In Libya, just in Libya.
Wadi Kuf.
Wadi Kuf, it's a natural place, it's interesting, okay. What else?
And
Maybe
mountain.
German.
The Green Mountain?
German.
Mountain on the sea.
Mountain on the sea?
Hammam.
Where's this?
This is the name. This Hammam, yes, in Baida, like that.
In Beda, okay.
Yes.
So is it a natural place?
Yes, this mountain and the sea.
Nice. Okay. So this is a beautiful natural place. So maybe tourists would like to go there. Okay.
Yes.
Akakas, also in the desert. Akakas Mountains in the desert is also an interesting place for tourists.
German.
Where's Germa?
في الجنوب in south of Libya.
Okay. Is it in the desert? Is it an oasis?
Yes.
Is it like Gabran? Is it an oasis? Waha?
No. It's a place for desert and desert. It's in Jarma, in place in Jarma. German. Yes.
Is
it a Jarma museum.
It's a museum.
The time I heard that.
Yes.
Jarma.
Where
is it? Where is it?
Is it near Sabah?
No. It's far of Sabah, but it's not far. And there is the stones and I don't know. You can search about in Google, but we know it's in the south, and a lot of tourists come here to see this.
Okay, so this is new for me too, but it sounds interesting. It sounds very interesting. So it's a historical place, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Also Damas.
Damas was also popular with tourists. It's also historical.
Yeah.
Okay, these are these. And
also Obari, Nia Obari Oasis or like that.
Oasis, Obari Oasis.
Yes, Oasis.
I don't know the Obari Oasis. I know Gabran is famous, but Obari, I don't know. Maybe there is an oasis in Obari too. All right. Okay, so this is an example of a list of places that tourists can see. Now, I want you to look at the photos. I'm going to show you some strange places, and I want you to tell me what can you see in each photo. All right. So here's the first photo, the first group of photos. Can you see A, B, C?
The car like food.
Cars, yeah.
Maybe delivery.
Good idea. Maybe it's a delivery motorcycle. Maybe. Okay. And what about B? What's this?
Maybe perfumes. about perfume.
No.
Perfume?
No, it's a
No,
it's
car.
a car.
Yes, I
It's
know
like a
about
like
car,
motorcycle.
but
shoes.
maybe yeah, maybe she
اعلان نسيت انا هذا show
Advertisement? Maybe it's an advertisement?
Yes,
yes about shoes
Okay.
for shoes or maybe for perfumes.
Yes.
Okay. When you see a shoe, do you think of perfume, Malak?
Yes, because they have one.
But usually shoes usually don't smell very good, right?
No, I have a perfume like shoes.
Okay. I'm just
I don't-
you know, I'm interested
I
in
don't
the
know.
relationship.
I don't know how this patient about when women wear that. This is so hard.
Yeah, how they walk with these. It's very
Yeah.
hard, I think. Okay. What about picture C or photo C? What's this? What's happening here?
It's old car. It's
the
old
sea?
car in the sea. Yeah.
Is it a real car? Do you think it's a car?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I don't. No, I don't think.
Someone
What?
die in the sea.
Someone died?
Yes, in the sea. And this
Yeah.
car show the history about this car. Maybe old car. Maybe one.
But do you think the person, if you die in the sea, do you stay like this, or do you think the fish will eat you? Yeah. What do you think? Why didn't the fish eat him? This is my question. If he died in the sea, why is he the same color as the car? What do you think, Sana?
No, I think it's not man.
It's not a
like
man?
no. It's like man, maybe draw or something like that. Not human. I mean,
Yes, I think. Yeah.
maybe like a
He
picture
isn't
or
alive.
That's
something.
why
He
I
isn't
told you it's not real.
It's
car.
not real?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's not real. Yeah.
You mean not
It's
real like
it's
the
like a what they call sculpture.
sculpture?
Yeah.
You mean
Yeah.
it's made from stone? It's not a real car and it's not a
Yeah.
real
I
person?
think.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe you're right.
I
Maybe
think.
it's not made from metal and not a real person, but made from stone, a sculpture. Can you explain what sculpture means to us? A sculpture. What does it mean?
Sculptures.
In English.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's hard. It's an art.
It's an art. But tell us, here's an easy way to define anything. Whenever you want to define something, just say it's a thing, and then you explain what it's made of, for example, or how it's made. So a sculpture, what is it made of? Of what?
Made by, I don't know what they told about some.
Is it made from plastic?
No, sometimes
wood?
made by stones.
Stone, yeah, so a sculpture is always made from stone or maybe bronze or maybe metal, sometimes wood, wood. Yeah. So, and it's like you said, it's a work of art. So usually an artist is the person who makes a sculpture. So what's sculpture in Arabic? Sana, what do you think?
زي قدام البحر لما يديروا في حوتة بالقزة متاع البحر ولا يعني زي ولا
close قربتي شوية انتي لكن instead of sand what do we call it when we make it from stone? not sand
من
but
الحجر يعني.
yes,
زي التمثال زي التماثيل يعني.
yes, a statue is actually an example of a sculpture. يعتبر نوع من أنواع sculptures. معناها sculpture شو نعتبرها؟ الفن هذا كله على بعضه. What do we call it in Arabic?
نحت.
Yes, yes, yes. That's it. But if you're what do we call the person? So this question is for you, Haj. What do we call a person who does a sculpture?
Sculpturists.
Trick
Artist,
question.
I think.
I tricked you. Actually, it's
also in Arabic. I don't know what they call. It's nahat.
Yeah, nahat. How do we say nahat in English?
Yeah.
How do we say
artist?
artist يمشي الحال ككلمة عامة يمشي الحال. هم النحاتين يعني نقدر نعتبرهم artists. صح. But the exact word is actually sculptor. Sculptor with an
Sculptor.
O. Sculptor. Like for example teacher, doctor هو بالOR. شو عندنا حاجات بالOR? Speaker ER. Usually in English the OR or ER or حتى الist the artist. This is a yeah, it's actually a very good, it's a good guess actually because this suffix اللي استعملتها تركب على مجموعة كبيرة من nouns which are jobs in English. Artist,
it's
specialist.
Like
sorry?
Pinterest or
يتشابهوا في النطق نحس بهم.
Pinterest, I think. Well,
what is it?
Sam.
Painter you mean?
Painter, yeah.
Painter is like teacher or engineer or doctor. فهد ER. لكن الist ending is usually for artist, specialist.
IST.
Classicist. What else? حاجات هيك مش هالبال IST. But the pronunciation here, the URE, remember like future or culture. So sculpture. So المنحوتة نفسها this one هي من تحت the pronunciation is sculpture future culture لأن عندنا الsuffix هذا TURE it sounds like sculpture بس هذه اللي فوقيها لأنها TOR sculptor مش okay sculptor and the verb is sculpt but they don't use it a lot. It's a weird verb. مسكين مهمش ما يستعملوش في هذا. Sculpture, sculptor, artist. ممكن حتى artist يستعمل فيها أكثر من sculptor. Anyways, مش موضوعنا. So okay, so these are the first three photos. Let me show you the next photos. المجموعة الثانية الست الثاني. D and E. What do you think of these photos? What about photo D? What's this?
It's unusual painting.
Artist, like art.
Maybe vampires.
Maybe these are vampires. Would you call this painting beautiful?
Art gallery.
It's from an art gallery. Maybe it's from an art gallery.
Yes.
But what about this painting? How would you describe this painting in D? What do you think? Is it pretty? Is it beautiful?
Painting.
Unusual?
No, the color is unusual.
The color is unusual.
Yeah, but some people like this unusual thing.
Yeah, maybe some people like unusual things. Do you like unusual things?
No.
No.
At all.
And this maybe, and also this painting this about someone have depression, like depression.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. Yes. Some people about I read about it about someone from France go to the Algeria in war So I see some art gallery like that, like this photo. Maybe depression, like depression. Yes.
Good point. Maybe the artist who painted this, maybe he's depressed.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Or describe people who is depressed.
Or he's describing, or maybe he's sick and tired of his wife and daughter, so he painted them. Maybe this is his wife and daughter. So he's tired of them, and so he expressed his feelings by painting them. This is how he feels about them. Okay, so this is just an example. But what about E? Now, there's a trick here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, because here there's a bit of a trick. But first of all, before I zoom, what do you see in photo E or picture E? What do you see?
Like someone YouTuber.
Sorry?
Like one YouTuber, like this, and by drone.
What's this?
Photo. The city, the center city.
It's a city center.
Yes. The city
okay. What do you see, Sana, in photo E?
I think there is a ihramat here.
A pyramid? There's a pyramid?
Yeah.
But it's black.
There's a train.
Yeah, black.
There's a train.
Yeah.
No.
There a train, yes.
But let me zoom in a little bit. Do you think this is from a city? Do you think this is a picture of a city?
No.
What is it?
It's like a Turkish, a mini Turkish or something, museum. It's a museum in Turkey. All inside is many of buildings, historical buildings.
Are you saying this is not a real photo?
Yeah, I think so, because there are many buildings.
About football? No.
So Hajar is saying this is not a real photo. It's not a real city. What do you think, Sana? And
yeah, because
do you agree?
There's a pyramids in a black, and there's like a factory or hospital. Also, there's a. I don't know what is the name.
What do you think, Ihab? Do you think this is real or not real?
Yeah, it's real. Yes.
It's real. Ihab thinks it's real. Sana,
no,
do you think it's real?
It's not. No, I agree with Hajar, not real. If you see here, there is someone, like someone from the building. If you see here, I think, yeah.
Where? In which area?
I think it's not.
On the left,
Here.
right?
Yeah, true.
Where?
Under the train.
Yeah, someone under the train. Yeah. There is someone.
Yeah, no.
Where? Here? Is there someone
in
under
the building?
train?
In the building under
in the
building.
Train.
The blue one. Yeah.
Here? There's
the blue one.
Yeah.
There is someone.
Maybe this is a jinn hiding behind the building, right?
No, but that's why
I think it's not.
When you see
the picture,
the mini Turkey in Istanbul, so it's like this.
Do you mean they have models of things?
Yeah.
So do you think
it's
maybe this
beautiful place there? So it's like this.
So you think maybe this is a model of a city, not a real city?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
No, real.
Yab thinks it's real.
Yes.
I think unreal.
Okay, so we'll find out. But let's have a quick break to pray very quickly, and then we'll
to pray.
Yeah, and then we can get back and we can find out what these photos are about, what is real, what is not, and we can also learn about this perfume, shoe, car thing. We'll find out if Manak is right, if this is a perfume or not. So we'll do this after the break, okay? Let's have a little break and we'll meet again. Okay? So see you in a bit. I'll leave this online.
اخذها كلها حسن زكريا اخذها كلها 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 ياخذ في ديران عشان برا وكذا شو اسمه هو؟ برايم شو مال برايم؟ برايم بس الصبح ما بتطلع. اي يقول توكل على الله تراي. وندير المستشفى نقبل المستشفى. تراي في المستشفى خلي النيجر بس. ها؟ نيجر بس يجوني هنا نيجر يقولون نيجر. نيجر. يا جماعه نيجر اند نيجيريا. انتوا نيجيريا وغانيين اي واحد من افريقيا. والليبيين يعدوا المستشفيات تخرب. ما رايك فيها؟ خطه رايك فيها سبحان خطه سبحان. وين الاخر شو اسمه هو اخوك؟ ابراهيم. قام الشغل تتفدوا ولا شنو؟ تتفدوا بالشغل انتم؟ عندي شغل ثاني. انت شغل هو شغل يعني يوم لك يوم لا يعني وش دايرين؟ ولي شغل غيري لما تاريخ ما تعرف. انتوا اثنين الشغل نفس الشغل ولا تختلفوا؟ لا شغل بروحه معناها عندي يوم عطله يوم شغل. لا يوميا شغل. مش يوميا كل يوم ما بعد المغرب خلاص يجي غير يمشي الصبح الساعه 10 المغرب خلاص. لكن انا لا انتوا اثنين انا واحد عطله واحد يو معناته مره هيك مره هيك صح عليك والله. يا فاهم الدماغ يشتغل الدماغ يشتغل. التوأم هو بتاعك ها؟ فوق التوأم هو فوق التوأم فوق التوأم هو توأم شقيقة كان نفس العمر الاثنين. انت اكبر. هو كبير مدير كبير ليش يحكي عربي لك؟ مدير كبير.
Hello? Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I hear you.
All right, nice. Okay, so let's continue. So we took a look at these interesting photos, and we made some guesses about what they are or what they represent. So now let's read about these strange museums and what you can see here. So it says, read the article and then match photos A to E to the museums in the article. Okay, so this means each photo comes from a different museum. So A, B, C. So this means we actually have 5 museums. All right. So each photo is from a different museum. So we're gonna read this article and we're gonna find out, okay? So let me just move this a bit. Okay, so let's start from the beginning here. The world's, so start from here, and when we get to the bottom, I'll just move it so you can read the whole thing, okay? So, okay. Hi, yes, Ihab? Okay, so you can start reading, huh? Okay, so I'm just moving it. Okay, I'm going to move a little bit.
Can you move it a little bit, please?
I did. This is the last part.
Oh, okay.
Did you get to?
Hold on.
Did you get to hamburger-shaped motorbike?
No, no. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the last part. Yeah. Has everyone finished it? Finished reading?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So the last word is actually motorbike.
No, we can't see the motorbike. The last word we see who has collected.
Are you sure?
Okay, now it's okay. Yes, now it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I finished it.
All right, nice.
Done.
Mm-hmm. Malak, have you finished?
Yes, I finished.
All right, nice. So now let's see your memory. Let's test. So picture A, photo A, from what museum is it? From which museum is it?
For the last
It's about
paragraph.
last paragraph.
Yeah.
Correct, but can you remember the name of the museum?
Museum at
Hamburger
Museum.
Okay, I think that's right, yeah. So this is the Hamburger Museum in Florida. Right? Yeah, so the first one is from the Hamburger Museum. Now, what about picture or photo B? Where's this from?
It's in a paragraph too.
For shoe exhibition, for shoe.
From Philippines, yes.
From the Philippines, you're right.
Yeah.
And what's the museum called?
Marikina shoe.
Yeah, that's it. The Marikina Shoe Museum.
Marikina Shoe Museum, yeah.
Okay. Excuse me. Yes, that's correct. And photo C, where's this from? Which museum is this?
It's
Underwater Museum.
Correct. And it's from
Cancun.
Cancun Underwater
Museum. It's in Mexico.
It's in Mexico. That's right. Okay, okay. And what about photo D, this painting? Where is it from? From which museum?
It's
maybe Florida.
First
No, Germany, I think.
Germany, yes. Maybe Germany.
It's in the first paragraph.
No, it's in the USA, I think.
Yes. And what's the museum called? What's the name of the museum? What is it called?
Bad Art Museum.
Yes, the Museum of Bad Art in Massachusetts, the USA. All right.
Yes.
So it's the Museum of Bad Art. Okay. So this means the last photo, this one, where is it? Which museum is this?
Germany, I think.
It's in Germany.
Yeah, it's in Germany.
And what's the name of the museum? It's here in the paragraph before last. What is it called?
It's miniature
railway museum.
This one. It's called the Miniature Wunderland. Because this is in German. Wunderland is Wonderland. But it's
Wonderland.
Yeah, but in German it's Wunderland. Wunderland in Germany. Yeah, so this is the museum. So this means, Ihab, Is it real? Is it a real city or not? Yeah. What do you think? Can you hear us? I think Ihab is not here.
Yes, I think it's
Not
real
real.
and not finished yet.
Yes,
But
yes.
is it real or is it a miniature museum? What does
It's a
miniature mean?
miniature.
What does it mean,
It,
miniature?
it, it's the small things. That's why I said
Many.
I was
Yes, yes.
So it's like a mini model. It's not real.
Yeah.
It's not a real city. Do you get the idea I have?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
So this means this isn't a real city. It's just a model. It's a model of the city. It's a mini model. And for mini, we just use the word miniature. So it's a, it's a small scale
But
model.
I think for children, yes, to play.
No, it's a museum you can visit, actually.
Okay.
But they're saying that in the past, boys used to like to, of course, this is before video games. This is, in the older generations. They used to like building train models and, it was a common hobby, toy trains for boys in the past. Now, boys have video games and PUBG and they have guns and Kalashnikovs, so they don't need trains anymore. So, but this is the idea. Okay, so now we found out where each photo is from. The question is, before we do this question, I want to ask part D first, before we do part C. Or maybe we should do part C, it's better because we can have more information this way. So my question is, in which two places can you see the Museum of Bad Art? So actually you can see the Museum of Bad Art in two different ways. What are the two ways?
The first, in the first paragraph, it's about the gallery.
So it's a gallery.
Bad paintings.
It's a gallery of bad paintings. So you can go to the museum, you can visit it. But there's another way you can access the museum. How? What's the other way? There are two ways. This is what the question is about.
I don't understand your question. What?
Yeah, me too.
Okay, let me explain the question. Now, the question is, there are two ways to visit the museum. One of them is by going
online.
to the museum. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Online, yeah. They
Correct.
wrote it here.
Correct. That's it. So,
I can't see the
can you see the book?
page. We see the other page, not the same.
You can't see the book?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this is what they mean by the first question. They're saying,
but it's tricky. The question is not clear.
I kind of agree with you. Maybe the phrasing of the question.
I didn't understand it.
It could have been better, I think. Maybe you're right. In which two places can you see? But this is the idea. They just want to say that you can either go to the gallery, go to the museum itself, or you can visit it online. That's what they're saying. So this is what they want you to say. All right. Now, who was Imelda Marcus and how many shoes did she have? Who was she?
The headmaster. Yeah, the headmaster of the museum of shoes.
But who was she? This is the question.
The woman of wife of president.
That's it.
President of Philippines.
Yes, she was the wife of
president's wife.
Yeah, she was a president's wife. Is her husband still the president?
No.
No, because it says when her husband was president. So this has already passed. It's in the past. He's not a president anymore. All right. And how many shoes did she have?
3,000 pairs of shoes.
3,000.
Do you think that's a lot or not a lot?
Yes, a lot.
Yeah.
Would you like to have 3,000 shoes?
No.
No, it's too much.
Too much.
She's very lucky.
She's very lucky. But for example, is 2,500 okay for you? For example.
No,
Just 1,000 is okay.
1,000 is enough.
no, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
I like shoes very much, so that's why.
Okay. I like shoes, but I don't like wearing them. I don't know. I like having new shoes, but usually I just wear the same old shoe. I don't know how to explain it. It's nice.
Maybe you feel it's comfortable, and that's why maybe.
Yeah.
Even happened with me.
Yes.
Yeah. Also because our country doesn't have a good street, so we can't. Maybe for us girls, we can't walk with high heels in the street.
True. Yeah, you can't wear very good or very expensive shoes all the time. So I usually just wear my usually wear my flip-flops, the same one I use in the garden, and I just go out. There's no need for shoes. I can't remember the last time I wore any socks. So I usually just put my foot and go out. Because the country is, it's dusty, it's not very clean. So
yeah, that's why.
Just use whatever is in front of you. All right, okay. So she had 3,000 shoes, and she's the wife of the previous president. Now, what about the Cancun Underwater Museum? How can you explore it if it's underwater? How?
You have to dive.
This is one of the ways.
Diving.
Yeah, you can dive, or there's another way.
Or you can. I forget what I think.
Yeah, it's written. You can find it.
Breathtaking.
Yeah.
Breathtaking.
Go to the two sentences.
High glass named bottomed boat.
That's it.
Or something.
You can hire a glass-bottomed boat. What does this mean? Glass-bottomed boat.
Oh, yeah, it's like
glass.
We call the غواصة.
That's a submarine. I think you're talking about submarine. But here they're not talking about
it's
submarine.
like a little bit it's maybe it's a smaller one. It's like a boat.
But does it go underwater or not underwater?
Yeah, it's underwater, I think.
Actually, if it's a boat, it's not underwater. But because it says it's a glass-bottomed boat.
Higher glass. Oh, okay. So maybe the
bottom of the
boat is glass.
That's the idea. Yeah. So this means you can see underwater, right?
Interesting.
Yeah, under your feet. If you look down, you can see the museum, the sculptures, because the water is very clear in that area. So especially if it's in the day, so it's very easy to see the underwater museum below you, underneath you. You get the idea?
Yes.
It's interesting.
Okay. I think it's interesting too. Okay, now number 4, they're asking, what is the miniature Wonderland, huge and tiny? Why? Why is this the German museum? Why is it huge and tiny at the same time? How? How is it huge and tiny at the same time? Why?
Maybe because it's very big place, but there's a lot of tiny things inside.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's this museum. It's similar like what I saw in Turkey. It's mini Istanbul called there.
Okay.
It's very big building, as a museum,
Mhm.
but there is a lot of tiny things. It's all about tiny buildings, or that's why maybe that's why
You're
the
saying
huge
Yes,
and
you're
tiny.
saying that the building, the museum itself is huge, but the models or the
Yeah.
things are tiny.
Yes, it's not like the what we see in the normal museums. It's a big, but in this museum, it's very tiny. You can't you maybe you sit down a little bit to see the things inside. So that's why it's called the huge and tiny, I think.
Okay.
and you can see by a microscope. Maybe you
Yeah,
can't see by your eyes. Yes, yes, I see that. Yeah, I
sometimes,
saw.
yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
and you can see something like desert and soldiers. It
Yeah,
talks about something. It talk about something happened at the past, and the history of Turkish.
You're talking
yeah,
about
and
Great, yes.
all of them, it's
you're
very
talking
tiny.
you're talking
Yes,
about the museum in Turkey now.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's similar like this one.
Mm,
Maybe
Okay.
that one is very more older than
Older, maybe.
Turkey.
But what about the numbers? Can you see all the numbers in the paragraph?
Yes.
What are they about? This number.
Yeah.
What do you think of these numbers?
Numbers of the number of the
It's
metros and the
yeah,
light and the
train,
trees, human figures.
What
carriages.
do you
Yes.
think? What do you think of these numbers? Are they small or are they huge numbers?
Small,
No,
Yeah,
small.
huge numbers. Yeah.
Huge
Yeah.
number, but
huge
it's
It's
small
teeny.
in a
size.
tiny.
Yes, this is the idea. So the numbers are huge, but the items are tiny, right?
Mm.
So it's
Yeah.
so when we say, for example, 900, 930 trains, this is a huge number, but the trains are small trains. They're not real trains. They're not big trains. But the length, the track, the meters, this is a real number. These are meters, real meters. They're not mini meters. Do you get the idea?
Mm-hmm.
So actually the museum has 13,000 meters, or this means 13 kilometers of model tracks. Do you get the idea? So this means if you go back to, if we go back to the picture, can you see this example of the track? Can you see this track where the train travels, this plastic model track? This is of course not a real track, it's a model track or a miniature track. اللي هو احنا مرات يقولوا تجسيم او اللي هو جماعة الهندسة اللي هم يستعملوا في شو يقولوا له مقياس الرسم، مصغر على مقياس الرسم، يعني بدل ما مثلا يقول لك 1:100 أو 1:20 يعني واخدين نفس الدايمنشنز او شو يقولوا لها بالكلمه الدورفه، نفس الابعاد التركيبه الحقيقيه، لكن كلها مصغر. This is the idea.
نفس القياسات لكن بأصغر.
بالضبط، اللي هو يسموا فيه نفس الريشيو، ما اعرف كيف يقولها، ريشيو، نفس
النسبة،
نفس النسب،
أو
غير كلها مصغر. هي هذه الفكره. Do you get the idea? But at the same time, the length of the track رغم انه هو مصغر، لكن الطول متاعه المصغر هذا اللي هو التراك it's 13,000 meters. Do you get the idea? So imagine these 13,000 meters. تخيلوا لو كان حجمهم بالحجم الحقيقي قديش يطلعوا. Are you lost or did you get my point?
Yeah, I got.
So my point, this is why it's so huge.
Yes.
القصة الهيوجنس، حجم الهائل من طول التراكس اللي يمشوا عليها القطارات. دي قد idea. هذا قصته huge. لأن الرقم هذا 13,000 متر في تراك اللي هو صغير بتاع ترين، هذا رقم هائل. This is the point. And they're still building. They haven't finished it yet, so it's still getting larger and larger.
Bigger.
Yeah, bigger. Yeah. All right. And the last museum is the Hamburger Museum. So the question says, what can you see at the Hamburger Museum? What can you see there?
It's
Car.
clocks, jars.
But what's what's the special thing about them?
Burger shaped biscuits.
That's the idea. Everything is burger shaped, right? So burger shaped biscuit, burger shaped jars, burger shaped clocks, burger shaped. It's burger shaped everything. So everything comes in the shape of a burger.
Yes.
You get the idea?
Yeah.
This is what's special about it. Now the question is here. It's an opinion question. Now, which of these strange museums would you like to visit? Which one would you like to visit?
Hamburger.
You'd like to go to
Me too.
Yes.
Okay.
For me, in the Germany, the building.
The miniature museum.
I think it's
Also,
it's interesting, I think.
Okay.
for me,
for you, Hajar?
museum of shoes. Yeah.
Okay, but let's see why. Malak, why would you like to visit the burger museum, the hamburger museum?
I want to show the shapes of burgers. And of course to eat.
Yeah, I'm sure they have a good restaurant at this museum.
Yes.
Because if everything is about burgers, there must be a good burger restaurant near, or maybe even in the museum. So you're probably right about that. And Sana, why would you like to go to the miniature museum? Why do you think this is an interesting place?
I think it's because there is lots of building. It's like I don't know, but I feel it's interesting.
Okay.
Especially there is a building. It's small, and maybe there is there is lots of culture, like what said before. Payment. There is a payment. Yeah.
There is a
payment. I think ihramat payment.
Pyramids.
Pyramid. Yes.
Yeah. So maybe you can see mini pyramids. Okay.
And then I think it's good.
Okay. Kind of makes sense. And Hajar, what about you? You mentioned the shoe museum.
Yeah.
Why do you think this is?
I'm really love the shoes and shoes market. Whenever I go, I went to the shoe markets and I tried them, even when I didn't buy them, obviously. So I will be very happy.
I can imagine, yeah. Okay. What about, who would like to go to the underwater museum? This underwater sculpture
museum? I think maybe because I went there to see this boat, the glass one.
You've tried it.
It's interesting. Maybe.
Okay. So do you think maybe
interesting for me?
Not too interesting, not very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Sana, if you could choose another
Yeah.
museum, other than the miniature museum, which one would you like to go to? Other than that,
The picture number C, the
the Cancun.
Cancun Museum, yes.
But would you like to dive underwater to see it, or would you like to just stay in the boat?
Maybe diving.
You'd like to try diving?
Yes. I like swim, but I have a long time I didn't swim.
Okay.
But maybe I can try.
But do you think it would be fun if you go
Yeah.
underwater and maybe get stuck underwater? Do you think this is fun?
No, not get stuck. Why get stuck?
not for a long time.
It's
just a short time.
I think it's adventures more than museum. You see the museum.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of adventure if you're going to dive and see it.
Yeah.
But
maybe
I don't.
They will learn before we diving.
Yeah, they will probably give you some training. But let's imagine.
I think if there are some people who helped you to dive.
Yeah, I'm
like
sure there's some kind of trainer. Yeah, trainer or coach or some expert that will dive with you, of course. They won't let you dive alone. I don't think so. But let's imagine, for example, what would you do, Sana, if when you get to the bottom and, for example, the diving instructor says, okay, bye-bye, and just leaves you. How do you think you will feel underwater? Like, what do you think?
If and I don't have any problem, I will see the fish and the museum.
You'll have fun.
Yeah.
I think that's a good decision, because you can enjoy it. But I also think it's not very deep, because if you can see it from the boat, so this means it's not very deep. Maybe it's near the beach, not too far away, right? Because it says
maybe the water shallow, not deeper.
Yeah, I think it's shallow, not too shallow. I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 meters. This is still deeper than that, so it means you can't stand in it. I don't think you can stand, because you need to dive to see it. So maybe it's 5 meters, 6. I don't know how deep it is, but if you can see it clearly from a boat, it's probably not very deep, right? Because it says you can hire a glass-bottomed boat. Because if it's too deep, even with the boat, you cannot see it, because it's too dark, it's too far away. So I don't know, it doesn't look very deep. All right, so these are just some weird places that you can visit if you're interested.
Okay, what about you?
For me, I think I'll probably go to the miniature museum. I think it's very, very interesting, because I like the idea of how much work was done to put this together. Do you get the idea?
Yeah.
It's not something that can be done easily, I think, because everything needs to be worked.
It's very interesting. I think it's more better than in Turkey, but is also in Turkey. It's very interesting and it's very fun.
Yeah, I agree. I think they had to put everything by hand, so it's all they put the tree,
and
put the building, the train, and the train moves, and the track is very long. So it's a kind of fun. I think I would like to see this. I think the Bad Art Museum is, because I like strange and weird things. So I'm curious. I'd like to see what else is here. So I'm sure there are very interesting things. And maybe the name Bad Art, maybe it's just a name. Maybe you can find things which are actually good at this museum. So I think this is fun. These are probably the 2 most interesting ones. And the one here, the underwater one, is also okay. I don't think it's, I think it's fun, but because the place, the city of Cancun is actually a very famous city in Mexico. It's a tourist destination. It's like Sharm el-Sheikh. Do you know Sharm el-Sheikh in our area in the Middle East?
Yeah.
Cancun is like Sharm el-Sheikh of that area. It's a very famous city. Lots of tourists go there from the USA and from South America. So it's a tourist destination, great beaches, lots of activities, lots of fun things to do, nice hotels, nice resorts, you know, lots of people you can meet. So this going to the underwater museum as part of the whole trip to the city is fun, you know. But I don't think just going to this place only. I think that's why maybe the man responsible, the artist responsible for this, what's his name, Jason Taylor, maybe he decided to put it in this place, in this city, because he knows that this city is a tourist destination. A lot of people go swimming and diving, so maybe this is a good place to put his sculptures for people to see. Do you get the idea?
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe I would go to Cancun and see this. I haven't been there, but I saw some photos, and it's I think it's a beautiful place. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about vocab. Let's discuss some of these words. So the first part of the question, it says, look at the words in blue. So we want to focus on the words in blue first. The first thing they want us to answer is, what parts of speech are they? Are they nouns? Are they adjectives? Are they adverbs? Are they verbs? What are they? So we need to figure out what they are first. After that, I think they want us to translate it. That's what they want us to do, because it says, do you know a similar word in your language or any other language? So if you know any other language other than Arabic and English, you can think of what this word means. All right. So let's start. Let's start with the blue words. Let's take a look. So here we have this word, wandered. Have you ever wandered around a famous art gallery? Now let's use this technique of guessing from context, okay? So I'm just going to underline the whole context around a famous art gallery. Until here is enough. Have you ever wandered around a famous art gallery? So what do you think this means? And we have around, so what's the closest word you can think of to use? For example, if you want to throw away this word wandered and we want to put another word, what word would you use? Asked?
Ask, yes. Ask yourself, maybe.
But does it make sense to say, have you ever asked yourself around?
It means if you ask yourself about no. Imagine or you wondered from something about place, or
but
you
here,
ask.
Malak, do you think is it wander or is it wonder? Because we have two words, they're not the same.
Oh yes.
I think
yes,
you're talking about wonder with O.
Yes.
Let me write it, because this is not the same.
Yes. Now I see it.
So they're kind of close. Let me change this. It's too big. So you're talking about wonder, but this is wander with an A. What do you think, Hajar? If you had to guess.
It means go.
Go? You're getting close. Close. Go is close.
Means looking around.
Looking around is also close. Very close. Okay. Sana, what do you think? We have go and we have look. What else?
Maybe search.
Search is also actually a good one. If you combine all of these together, you know, moving, going, looking, searching, if you kind of put them together, this is kind of the meaning of wander. So in Arabic, what do you think it means when you wander around a place? What do you
تجول. هل سبق أنك تتجول
تجول
في مكان مشهور أو معرض؟
تجول كويسة. But I think if we want to translate this even better, we can say ما عندناش كلمة بالليبي. ممكن تجول okay, نتفرج نتجول, but with wander it's always you know, it's like you're taking it slowly, you know, you're not in a hurry.
yeah.
You're moving slowly, you know, you're just looking around, you're not looking at anything specifically, you know. It's like children, they always wander if you leave them alone. And if you put them in a place, what do children do? They just move around, look up, look down. They're, you know, they're moving and looking, and they're kind of lost. They don't know what they're looking at. They don't know where they want to go. Do you get the idea? So this is wandering. فيها نوع من الواحد رايح فيك شوية. But it's a pleasant.
Like do exploration before he want to do something.
Actually, explore is a very nice synonym. ممكن أقرب واحدة تو explore. Wander قريبة من explore. ممكن الفرق الوحيد بيناتهم explore فيها نوع من التركيز أو نوع من النية إن نبي نكتشف المكان. wander فيها نوع من الشخص مرخي كي رايح وخلاص مريوح. زي احنا مش نقول واحد مريوح. So wandering فيها لقطة الاسترخاء أو عدم التركيز أو لكن هي فيها exploration في نفس الوقت. This is the meaning wander. All right. So, but let me see what guesses you have here. شنو options اللي عاطينهم لكم. So here we have walked around slowly, walked around quickly. Which one do you think is better for wander?
I think A.
slowly.
That's actually correct. wander ماشية مع slowly أكتر. واحد يعني واخد راحته ما فيش حاجة وراه. wander. Okay, nice. Okay, well known. I think everybody knows well known.
Famous, yeah.
Famous. Well known is famous. So this is not a new word. Okay, let's check our next blue word. So we have bizarre. Nothing is too bizarre. I think this is a new word. But what do you think it means?
Yeah.
Okay, to guess, let me help you. Let me show you the context. Let's start from here, okay? So this is the context. هذا السياق. فمن السياق هذا بنحاول نطلع المعنى الكلمة هذه شنو المقصود منها. So how does this sentence start? From blue-faced people to surreal landscapes. What does it mean, surreal? Surreal landscapes. هذه كلمة جديدة surreal.
Yes.
Let me show you an example of a surreal. Surrealism is actually a movement in art. Let me show you on Google. Okay, can you see the page? Sorry. Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just.
Something strange.
So this is a famous.
Unusual, yeah.
This is a famous artist. His name was Salvador Dali. He was a Spanish painter, and this is his style. This style is called surrealism. Let me look for one of his famous. This is maybe the most famous. This one. Can you see this one? This is his most famous. This is also very famous. Can you see this style? This is called surreal. So it's like very imaginary. It's like a dream. It's very strange. Do you get the idea? So when we say surreal, اللي هو بالعربي نقوله مرات سريالي. مرات في الروايات أو في دي الخيالي يعني. It's like imaginary. But it's imaginary in a strange way. Has anybody watched Alice in Wonderland?
Yes.
Yeah. So Alice in Wonderland, her world, this is surreal. You know, when she goes into a room and she's very small, and then she gets very large. You know, that kind of. This is surreal. So it's imaginary, but it's also very strange. This is surreal. So if we go back to the context and underline it, what do you think the word means, the blue word?
Strange.
Yes, correct.
Or strange, unusual.
Yes, that's it. Strange or unusual. So bizarre is another word for very strange or very unusual. We say this is so bizarre or too bizarre. Okay. If you go back to the exercise in the bottom, and if you see the options, can you see it? Because bizarre, it says we have two options, expensive or strange. So strange is a better synonym.
Strange.
Yeah. All right. Then we have highlights. The highlight of this museum. What do we think? Do you think we mean? Or what do you think we want here? The highlight of this museum.
The main thing in this museum, I think.
That's it. Correct. And if you see the two options we have here, it says the highlight, the most interesting part, or the biggest part. Which one do you think is better for highlight?
I think the most interesting part.
Correct. Yeah, that's right. Like you said, the main thing, the most interesting thing, or the most important thing, all of this is correct. This is the meaning of the highlight. We have this word appear, which appear to be frozen in time. Let's see the two options we have for the word appear. We have want and we have seem. What do you think is better for appear?
Seem.
That's correct. If you say something appears in a way, it means it seems like this. It's not really like this, but it looks like it's this way. You get the idea? Yeah, because it says here in the sentence, the sight of brightly colored tropical fish swimming between the sculptures, which appear frozen in time, is absolutely breathtaking. So they appear to be frozen in time, but they're not, of course. Nobody's frozen in time. Time isn't frozen, but it appears this way. It seems this way. Okay, our next word is carriages. I think this is also not a hard word.
Yes, carriages, yeah.
Yeah, it's
What is it? Is it part of a train, or is it the people who,
parts?
That's it. Yeah, it's the part of a train that people travel in. All right. So this is a carriage. So usually a train has a number of carriages, right? Carriage 1, carriage 2, and they're all connected together. And then you have the first part of the train. This is the engine. This is the part that pulls the train, right? So carriage. All right, then we have, this word is new, peckish. Let's see if we can guess it together. Let's underline the what do you think? It says, are you feeling a bit peckish? If so, perhaps the Hamburger Museum at Daytona Beach is the place for you.
Yes, really hungry.
That's it.
Hungry.
Actually, yeah, that's correct. So peckish, if we had to choose between the two words, it says a bit thirsty, a bit hungry. A bit hungry is the right one.
A bit hungry.
Yeah. And the reason why this is the correct answer, because there's a relationship between peckish and hamburger. If you're thinking of hamburgers, maybe you are hungry, right? So this is the meaning of peckish. We have the word setup, and the two options are started and bought. But let's take a look at,
Okay.
let's see the context here. So the museum was set up by a man called Hamburger Harry. This is the context. Which one do you think is more suitable to say, to replace set up with started or to replace it with bought? Which do you think? The two options, we have started or bought. Which do you think makes more sense in this sentence? What do you think?
Started, I think.
Started is correct.
Started,
So the museum was started or founded by a man called Hamburger Harry, right? He didn't buy it because he collected everything. So this means he started it on his own. It's his idea, maybe. So, so started is the right word. Okay. So you can see what they're trying to do in this exercise. They want you to be able to guess what the words mean. Now we want to do the same thing, but this time we have the pink. Sorry, we still have part of the question we didn't cover. What parts of speech are they? So before we go to the pink words, let's go back to the blue ones. So the first one, what is this? Noun, adjective, verb, adverb.
Verb.
Correct.
Verb.
Correct.
Past participle. Yeah.
Yes, it's a verb in the past participle. That's right. What about well-known? What is this?
Adjective.
Right. It's an adjective. Correct. Bizarre.
Verb. Or
verb.
Are you sure?
No.
So what is it?
Adjective.
Correct. Because it has the same meaning as strange, and strange is an adjective,
strange,
right?
yeah.
So this is actually an adjective. All right. Our next word, highlight. The highlight.
Noun.
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 Correct. It's a noun. That's right. What about what do we have here? Is it appear?
Appear. A verb.
Yes.
Verb.
Appear is a verb. Correct.
Verb.
Appear. So it's a verb. And what else do we have? Carriages. This is an easy one, I think. Carriages. Noun. Plural, in the plural.
Noun.
Carriages, plural noun. Correct. A bit peckish.
Adjective.
Adjective. Correct. What about this? The museum was set up.
A verb.
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 And I think it's a phrasal verb. Set up, set out, set. But it's a verb. It doesn't matter, phrasal or not, but it's a verb. Correct. Very nice. So we covered this part of the question. Now let's see what they want us to do with the pink words. What did they say? They said, look at the pink words. What parts of speech, and can you guess what they mean? Now this time there's no help. They're not going to help us with the pink words. So we have to work on our own. Okay, but before we check the meaning, let's find out part of speech first, okay? Because this is the easy part. So check out, what is this? Noun, verb, adverb, adjective, preposition, article.
Verb. Phrasal verb.
Correct. Phrasal verb. It's a phrasal verb. Good. What about massive? Massive.
Adjective.
Correct. Displayed are now displayed.
Verb.
It's a verb.
A verb.
Yes. Correct. What about sculptures?
No.
Noun.
Noun. Yes.
Yeah, it's the plural noun. Sculptures. Manhutat, right? We talked about sculptures earlier, right?
Yes.
Breathtaking. What's breathtaking? It's absolutely breathtaking.
Adjective.
It's an adjective.
Adjective.
And also you can guess it's an adjective because you have an adverb before it. Absolutely. This is an adverb. So correct. Miniature.
Adjective.
Correct. It's an adjective. Impressive. عندنا track فتنا. Track.
No.
Noun.
Noun. Impressive site.
Adjective.
Adjective.
Right. Okay, so we finished the easy part. Now let's talk a little bit about the meaning. Okay, let me underline the context for you. So it says, it's the only, well, perhaps you should check out the Museum of Bad Arts in Massachusetts, the USA.
Check out means you want to go there.
Go is good.
Go or visit.
Visit is also good.
Visit.
Can you think of other words which are good synonyms of check out? Go, visit are okay. What else? Can you think of another one? Just one other?
Maybe taste, like taste.
Can you taste? Can you taste a painting? Maybe
No,
if you try to. Did you say taste?
Yes, taste.
But can you taste a painting? Can you, for example, pull it from the wall
but I give you another meaning, not.
Are you trying to say experience, maybe? To experience something?
Yes.
That's okay. That's also close. We can also add see. Just see, right? You should see.
Yes.
If we say you should see the museum, but one way to know if your synonym is good or not, ممكن يسهل الاختبار. مجرد تنحوا الكلمة وتحطوا كلمتكم جديدة وهل المعنى قاعد زي ما هو ولا تغير. لاحظوا الكلمات اللي استعملتوهم كلهم يمشي الحال. You can say you should go to the museum, you should visit the museum, you should see the museum, you should experience the museum. ممكن experience, it's a little, I don't know. بس الثانيات كلهم يمشي حالها. All right, so this is the meaning of check out. All right, massive shoe collection.
Huge or large.
Big. Correct. All of them are good adjectives, good synonyms. All right, are now displayed in the museum.
Show something.
But show, can we, because here we have to use past participle, هو passive, جملة passive. Are now displayed. Can we say shown? Shown. Showed. What's the past of show? Shown.
I think shown.
Shown. It's a bit strange. Shown. But I think it's correct. But let me just check it, just in case.
Exhibit.
Exhibit is also noun. It's a. So I'm looking for past participle. This is what I'm looking.
Shown, maybe.
Shown هو يمشي حال أعتقد أحسن. Participle of show. المفروض shown بتكون. Okay, let's check. Shown صح زي ما قلتوا. It's correct. All right, so this means shown, is displayed, is
exhibition or no?
Exhibition is a noun. I think it's a مشكلة. Displayed ممكن أحسن كلمة فيه. Can you see the book now?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
No? You can't see the book? You can't see the book?
No, yeah.
Okay. So maybe shown.
Okay.
Exhibited. Exhibit usually is used as a noun. ما يستعملوش فيها كpassive past participle. But you get the meaning. أهم حاجة وضحت المعنى. But to replace it, I think it's a little hard. لأن أحسن كلمة هي displayed في مجالها يعني. I think it's even better than shown. So it's a little hard to think of a synonym. All right, so sculptures. Can we?
Art of forming something on stone. Art of.
We can say statues. لو بنبدلوها maybe or maybe works of art خلط طويلة شوية maybe ممكن أقرب واحدة statues. The closest synonym is maybe statues of real people. But you get the idea. Now, what about breathtaking? Absolutely breathtaking. What do you think? Can you think of another word or other words which have the same meaning? So this is the context. The sculptures which appear to be frozen in time. Swimming. Swimming between the sculptures which appear frozen in time is absolutely breathtaking. What do you think it means? First of all, is it a positive or a negative adjective?
It's a negative, I think.
Negative?
No, positive.
It's positive. It's a good thing.
It's a positive.
Yeah, if something takes your breath away, this means you are, how do you feel? If something is breathtaking, if it takes your breath away.
Exciting.
Exciting, amazing. Yeah, correct. Exciting, amazing, fantastic, wonderful, unbelievable, unique, you know, something like this, something different. So this is what it means. Maybe the closest word to breathtaking is amazing. All right, so amazing. Incredible, incredible, also a good synonym. All right, what about miniature? If we say miniature.
Teeny.
Tiny. Tiny is a good synonym, صح? Can we also say model, maybe? A model of something? The largest model railway? Because when you say model railway, the listener understands you're not speaking about a real railway. Yeah. So miniature, tiny, model, I think these are okay. Track. If we say it has 13,000 meters of track. What kind of track is it? Can we use another word instead of track? What do we call the tracks that trains go on? What do we call them?
Road.
Railroad, railway, rail, مجرد rail براحة. These are all good synonyms. So you can say it has 13,000 meters of rail, 13,000 meters of railroad, railway, right? هذا كله بديل للtrack يعني هي السكة. Then we have impressive.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, يمشي حالها.
Magnificent.
Magnificent, yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing, يمشي حالها. Correct. Yeah. These are good synonyms. So this is what they want us to do in this lesson. They want us mainly to think of synonyms, words which have the same meaning. But before we finish, let me show you the definitions you have in the book. And let's see how close or how far away our definitions were from the ones in the book. Let's take a look. Oh, I think we passed it. Here they are. Can you see them? So wonders. No, we already checked these مكتوبات كانوا.
From checkout, I think. Yes.
Yeah, from checkout. You're right. So okay. So it's a phrasal verb طلعت صح. So it means go. أعطيني go. كانت واحدة من إجاباتكم go.
Go.
So معناها this one is correct. Massive into good to huge.
Very big.
معناها
huge.
صح. Displayed احنا كاتبينكم organized in a way that can be seen. اي مش قلنا نفس الشيء، قلنا shown معناها صح. Sculpture, a piece of art، احنا قلنا statue. هنا قالك made of stone, wood, metal or concrete. Okay, so we're close. Breathtaking احنا قلنا exciting. Surprising ما قلناهاش، لك surprising يمشي حالها. Beautiful يمشي حالها. Okay. Miniature انتوا قلتوا tiny.
Very
حتى
small.
هنا عندنا very small,
Very small.
so that's good. Track هنا قلنا هنا عاطينك الشرح متاعها، مش عاطين synonym.
Synonym.
Long pieces of metal on the ground that a train travels on. What did you say, Haju?
Path.
A path?
Yeah.
Like road path.
Path usually for on foot,
Yeah.
not for trains. A path, if you're talking about walking, a path in the jungle, maybe you're right, yeah.
Yes.
Impressive, admired, respect, amazing, because it's special, important, or very large. So I think we're close. جابتنا قريبة. All right, so these are some examples, and let me show you what we have for our next lesson. Let me give you a look. So I think probably we still have a little bit of speaking and listening left in this lesson. But let me show you. So this means in our next lesson, we can cover a bit of listening. So there's a radio program that talks about London and some of the things you can do in London, especially things which are free, things you can visit, places you can go without paying, which is kind of interesting because London is a very expensive city and finding free things is actually very hard. It's not easy. So this is nice. We'll also talk about a little bit about linking sounds. This is a bit strange, but not too hard, so you'll get the idea. Sometimes when you link certain words with these endings, you have a w sound. To what, like this. So instead of saying to a lot of people, it'll probably sound to a lot of people, a lot. So it's like an extra W sound. And the same thing here happens when you have a E vowel sound and an A. So there's a Y sound. So it will sound like this. To a lot of people, London appears to be very expensive. So there's a Y sound. Of course, it's very short, but when you listen to this, you will notice it. So we'll do this, and we'll also think we have a little bit of speaking here. So you can talk about a free time activity. After that, we can talk about the conversation part or the spoken English part here. We will talk about this. I think this is something we need a lot in Libya. Softening opinions and making generalizations. So we're going to learn a few tools, a few phrases which can make your opinion sound softer. When you're trying to debate someone or argue with someone, so you can sound more polite, you can sound a little gentler. Maybe this can make your conversation appear less rude and less offensive. So we'll do this in our next lesson. So that's all for tonight. Thank you for your time, and
Thanks a lot.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Good night.
See you on Tuesday. Good night.
في أمان الله. مع السلامة.
Bye bye. مع
مع
السلامة.
السلامة.
Bye.